That's how strong my love is. That's how strong my love is. That's how strong my love is. Mm. That's how strong. Okay, here we are. Hello, everybody. That's how strong.
Good morning. Hope everyone had a Shabbat Shalom. A little bit of peace over the Shabbat.
Let's see your face.
Getting closer and closer to Sinai. Today, the 36th day, double high of the counting of the Omer. We're in chapter 8, the last chapter of Song of Songs, the Song of all songs. You know, I had a wedding last night. It was two women, and on their ketubah was, of course, Anila Dodiva Dodi Li, I am my beloved and my beloved is mine. And, you know, it struck me that this Shunammite woman, you know, also is such an out of the box, a smash the patriarchy kind of person here. You know, she doesn't do anything that's quite expected of her. She almost gets caught in the trappings of the rules, you know, the royal chambers and all that, where she's afraid to get her feet dirty, but doesn't last very long. She manages to break out again and goes out into the night where she's abused. You know, there's something about this. And so she knows what she has to do is return to the freedom of the hills where the flocks graze. She has to return to the freedom of being able to be herself and not live within the rules of the chambers, the rules of the royal palace and convention. And so she returns, and I think this chapter 8, at least of the redactor, you know, is a return to our beloved Shunammite, woman of Jerusalem, who dares to break outside of the box, who dares to live beyond and break down any of the patriarchal expectations and rules of the game. And she goes after her own desires, you know. Are you coming up? Just trying to wait. Oh, okay. Jim's got a little scratchy throat this morning, so he's going to get a little of his tea. And then we will count this 36th day. You know, there's only 49 days. So we're really approaching the end. And of course, the 50th day, Shavuot. And, you know, we'll get a glimpse that night when we study all night long of Hakol. That glimpse of that view where you become part of what you're seeing. That's what it means, Hakol, right? Sometimes you get a moment of revelation. I felt it with these two women last night, thinking about Song of Songs, thinking about the Shunammite woman. I felt like I was part of something bigger than myself, and I wasn't separate from it. I was a part of it.
Let me see who I see out there. Oh, hello, Larry. Hi, Sam. Hi, Alyssa. Good morning.
So remember that romper room thing when we were kids?
Yeah.
It was kind of silly. All right. So
hello, Diane.
Let's count. Today is the first anniversary of Diane's oldest son. Married his beloved Catherine. And Diane, I got a picture of them from Paris. So that was really sweet.
Please.
Talk about lovely weddings, beautiful weddings. A year ago today, they got married, and now they're growing in their love for each other.
Whoa. Whoa, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's make sure we make the counting, and we're going to make up for the day that we didn't count. So we'll count for
35 and 36.
Yeah, we'll count just to keep it honest,
Let's do it.
Don't you think?
Yeah, what are you doing? Just go to your page.
Well, I want to sing. You know what I'm saying?
You do. What are you saying?
It's important to sing. If I was the sun way up there, I'd go with love most everywhere. I'll be the moon when the sun goes down, just to let you know that I'm still around. That's how strong my love is. 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 I'll be the weeping willow drowning in my tears. You can go swimming with me. Yeah. That's how strong my love is. Okay. וערבנה אדוני אלוהינו את דברי תורתך בפינו ובפי עמך בית ישראל. ונהיה אנחנו וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל. כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה. ברוך אתה אדוני המלמד תורה לעמו ישראל. Oh God, pause. Make the words of your teachings, let the words of your teachings, may the words of your teachings be pleasant on the lips of all of those that come into our screens. Let me see who's here. Oh, hi, Diane. So that we can spend a time in learning for the pleasure of it. And for the opening onto awareness that learning accommodates, encourages. Blessed are you who teaches in this fashion. Amen. So here's was yesterday, counting, and we were still in the 6th week. Malchut within Hod, the funnel, the spigot. The week of Hod, some sort of beauty, grateful, humble. How difficult was it last week, that elusive triumphalism we felt the absence of? Do not think of it independently from this week, Hod. They are bonded together, Hod and Netzach. More than the other dyads of the Sephirotic system, more than the two above, for example, Chesed and Gevura. Malchut, the funnel, the spigot.
Yeah.
Through the spigot, divine overflow, as it were. The point is, make the road ahead a spiritual experience. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And, this notion of chesed and gevura, this balance is so important.
So that was yesterday.
Yeah.
Here's today. We're counting in the 6th week now.
Wow.
Chesed in Yesod.
Yesod is this week, huh?
You betcha, baby.
Wow.
Chesed should be Yesod, the week of Yesod, an integrating middle pole. When what we learn becomes what we do. When what we learn becomes what we do.
Wow.
The wisdom expressed in body wisdom. Body wisdom. Let's see who else is here. Oh, hello, Sean. Oh, hello, Sherry. Okay, let's see. Chesed, a loving kindness. When it comes to Yesod, it expresses in body wisdom. what we do, informed by what we know, the synthesis in action, the wisdom might become a spiritual experience. Chesed, first triad, Chesed, love, Gevura, restraint, Tiferet, beauty. Second triad, Netzach, you think you know, Hod, you don't. Yesod, foundation in the body. Malchut, the spigot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitchem b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu asfirat haomer. Hayom shisha shloshim yom shehem chamisha shavuot v'yom echad la'omer. Today is day 36 of the Omer, which is 5 weeks and 1 day of the Omer. Uh-oh, see who's here. Maybe go grab it. Today is day 36 of the Omer, which is 5 weeks and 1 day of the Omer. May 22nd, 2022. Bless our president, our vice president, our mayors, and all their noble retinue. The counting of the Omer. Counting of the Omer, as taught by Randy Newman, Paul Simon, Joni, beloved Laura, Prince Richard Thompson, and Ben Bagbag. Fountains, its origins, love, chesed, loving kindness, overflowing. Negotiations by Gevura, restraint. Lifted up and balanced into Tiferet, beauty. With Netzach, this time ready. Second pass, you think you know, you don't know. Looking for soul in Hod. Settling into synthesis, Yesod in your slacks. With Malchut, the spigot is yours. Turn it. Don't turn it. Excuse me, allergens in the air. Why we count in threes during the Omer? Look ahead. What was missing last week may appear this week. Why we count in threes during the Omer? Or together they may make a unity that will be expressed next week. 3 weeks. Last week, this week, next week. That's why we think in threes during the Omer. Amen. And I'll give you this one, another one, a heavier version. Why we think 3 during the Omer, another opinion. Here's the epigraph. With 32 mystical paths of wisdom, this comes from Sefer Yetzirah. With 32 mystical paths of wisdom, 32, the 10 principles and the 22 letters, engraved Yah, and created a world with 3 Sfarim, with text, Sefer, with number, Sfar, or element, and with story, Sipur. Sefer Yetzirah, 1:1. There it is, from one of the earliest texts of Jewish mysticism, Sefer Yetzirah, between 3rd and 5th century CE. The 3 interacting principles. There is a text, there is an elemental, that is a universal, that is a finite number of principles. Some we know, some we may not know. And there are the interpretations, the stories, the limits, only the limits of our imaginations. 3, there is the elemental, fundamental, like Sfirot, a certain set of principles, let's say, for the sake of discussion. 10, There is a text, a tale. There is the text of existence. There are the individual texts of our lives. There is the story.
Yeah. Nice.
Working the text. Story elastic. Again, the limitations, only the limits of our willingness to work our own tales. That's why we think in threes, triads, during the counting of the Omer. Amen. All right, kiddo, let's take a look at the text. What do you say?
Oh my God. This text, whew, it just goes, I just like think about these
Who else is
verses.
here? Hello, Edna.
Think about these verses that you've heard for so long, and they just kind of wash over us, like set me as a seal upon your heart. And then you dive down into it and you see there's just so much more.
And then you die into it.
You die. Well, that's part of it.
Right.
And then it says, a seal upon your arm. And then it says for love, ki mavet, ki azah, chamavet, ahava. Love, azah. Not chazak, but azah. So let's talk first about the seal. So we've gotten up to chapter 8, verse 6. We may not get beyond verse 6 today. Look at that verse. So let's talk about seals for a moment.
Okay.
We know from ancient times we find these scarabs, that are engraved with individual identities, the individuation of the mark, of the seal of a person. And so the woman would wear it on her heart. The man would wear it as a sign on his hand, right? As a seal, so that he could use it to identify himself, and to sign things, to accept.
Yeah, it's so many things it could be.
It's so many things it could be.
It could be like that. It could be like, set it upon my heart.
Like the circumcised heart, you're engraved in my heart. You're etched into my heart.
And you know what? Sometimes I might not know who I am. Look there. Look to that.
Nice.
Set a seal upon my heart.
Well,
when I forget who I am,
set me as a seal
you
upon
may
my
learn,
heart.
You may take it from me.
Simeni, set me as a seal upon my heart. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. You forget who you are?
Right. Nice. Yeah, that's great.
Put me there. I'll remind you. Also, it can be like an amulet, too.
Yeah.
There's some commentators assume it's some sort of ownership thing. Not necessarily. Like an amulet.
Oh, no. She's not owned, this woman. She does not get owned. No, it's not an ownership thing. It is a belonging thing.
Yeah.
In the sense of,
and we have an image
when you care,
like
and that's why it says love
Proverbs.
And death in the next verse.
Yeah.
Because, when you belong to someone, it's not a belonging. It's not an ownership. It's oh my God, my fate, my destiny is bound up with yours. If something happens to you, it happens to me. Nafsho kishura v'nafsho. Souls bound up with each other. What does it mean to be souls so bound up with each other? As free as this woman is, she's given herself over to love.
Yeah. I like this idea too, though, that you can lose yourself sometimes.
Yeah, so you have to have.
But you have that. You trust somebody else instead of
see you. I see you.
I'll tell you who you are. Look at me.
Yeah, you do that for me a lot.
That's how strong my love is.
No, it's hard. That's hard. It's hard. It's a hard memory.
Simeni chachotam. Put me like a seal, alibecha, on your heart. Chachotam al ziroecha, on your arm. Ki azah. Hamavet is ahava.
Azah. Why azah there, right?
Strength, azah, strong.
Oz, but not chazak. not, you know.
No, it's like it's an image. Remember, so I mean,
yeah.
we're going for a physical and spiritual image.
So okay, let's talk about this verse.
And I think there's extra ahavas in these verses.
Strong as love.
I do. I feel it.
You don't think it's meant to be there?
I think they're extra as like somebody adds them for explanatory. I forget the name for that.
But, so what would be as strong as death?
Well, we know what we're talking about. Maybe one is appropriate. But then look, Kashar Kisho as hard as the grave, let's say. Kina. And then this is passion, I think, more than or zealousy.
Yeah.
Not jealousy, but zealousy or I think here would be passion would be a better word for it.
Harsh as the grave.
V'shafeha rishpei like flashes of fire. Shall have it. Now this is a strange word. Shall have it ya. It seems like a compound word to me, right? But the ya. Shall have it is a flash, a flame. And I got ya appended at the end.
Shall have it, yeah. Flame
I don't
of
think
God.
this appears elsewhere.
Flame
I'm
of
gonna look
God.
it up.
6, 8, 6. So this shall have it, yeah. A flame of God. No, it's like a supernatural power. Here's your superpower. Here's your superpower.
Maybe it was. Yeah. Maybe at one time they were separate words. But it's unusual, I think, at this level to find this kind of compound noun here.
Let's see. It's been long debated whether or not Shel Chevet Yah contains the name of the God of Israel. While it is likely that Yah derives from Yah, the short form of Yahweh, this ending long ago lost its association with God's name and became simply a suffix denoting intensity, as in Jeremiah, as in the Psalms, right? Or could it be great terror, God's terror? And that makes sense to me, when I think about what does it mean love is as strong as death. So one way you could read that while Jimmy's looking this up is death is inevitable, right? Death comes. It comes whether we want it or not, whether we like it or not. It is. And love too. You cannot always choose who you love. It's bigger than us. It is a superpower kind of thing. I don't know. Death.
Yeah.
I mean, when I talk to certain, Eastern religionists like our Swami, he says, it is everything that happens in its time. You think you have control over it, but you don't. It's written. It's karma. It's,
Yeah.
It is what it is. We have an expiration date, so to speak. So,
yeah.
And love too.
Yeah.
Maybe love is like that. Maybe love is beyond us. We think we can control our passions, this, shel chevet yah, but we really can't. It's really bigger than we are. We are part of an unfolding story that we have to make the best of, that we have to recognize. And then when we forget, who we are or where we are, we have that seal upon our heart that someone who loves you that much can remind you, remind you of your identity.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
Yeah. They read it as a God flame, as a appended thing. So does our man Jastrow. He wrote about it in a journal of biblical literature, actually.
Yeah.
It's Yeah.
Right. I think
And the Jewish Publication Society, I think, favored that reading.
mhm. Yeah. Um, so Marcia Falk really loves this poem. She says it's different than any other poem. She reads this poem as I think the block Sue as going from 6. Let's see where they have it.
It's a flame of God.
Yeah.
According to our man Jastro, he thinks it was in a
They actually have
compound
5,
word.
6, and 7 as one poem.
Whoops. I think we're gonna have to stay with this today.
Hmm?
Let's see who else is here. Well, hello, Valerie. Yeah.
So let's read that verse.
Oh, hello, Rebecca.
Set me as a seal upon your heart, right? Stamp me in your heart, upon your limbs. This is what Marcia Falk does. Stamp me in your heart, which is more like what you're saying, upon your limbs. Sear my emblem deep into your skin. For love is strong as death, harsh as the grave, because again, it's not by choice, it's inevitable, it's part of our fate, our destiny, and its tongues are flames, a fierce and holy blaze, a blaze of God. Right?
Yeah.
You want to keep it at verse 6? I think verse 6 is pretty rich.
Yeah, let's stay there because we're running out of time.
Let me give you what blocks say. Bind me as a seal on your heart and a sign upon your arm, for love is as fierce as death can be. Jealousy bitter as the grave. So I think
the better word blocks, here is passion.
Yeah, well, I kind of resonate though with the blocks suggesting that, love can make you crazy too. Can make you really jealous.
Love can make you crazy.
And make you bitter. Even its sparks are a raging fire, a devouring flame. So if you don't have the gevura with the chesed, right? If you don't have the balance, it can destroy you, just like death. Love.
I'm going to repeat a comment I made.
Okay.
Not because I'm repeating myself and I've forgotten, or not because I don't care.
Okay.
But because I want to say it again until I say it right.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I want to make sure I express myself accurately. But it's extremely difficult in dealing with this text and its love language. When you're dealing with on the level of love language, of intimacy language, that the physical, to allow the physical and metaphorical force of these poems lead, and through the physical force of these poems, the spiritual is as a kiosk, as a shadow behind it, to let the scrim of the spiritual as appears in the basic form of the physical nature of these love language poems. That's what I'm trying to say. That language is so hard to pluck something in any way original and distinctive in your own language. You tend to go to these ridiculous
Beatles
songs and
so true.
These idioms of love that we have in our head that's been bounced around in there for our whole adult lives.
Right.
And it's so hard to detach from that and to lift up something at all original, not just original, but distinctive and honest and profound and provocative from that has a individual touch, individual force attached to
Well,
it.
I think
It's very hard.
because the irony is, this is familiar. We know this love. We know love. We know death. We know this passion. We know this place.
Yes, but the language.
So how to make it? Well, that's the
The
thing.
language we have for it is so diminished, and it's banging around my head. It's
I
banging
understand.
around my head.
But it's. I think part of that challenge is because, it's kind of like childbirth. It's so miraculous and it's so ordinary. How do you take something that happens every day? How do you take something that happens to everyone, or to so many, and have language for it that illuminates the fire of God?
We better stop
Right?
here, kid, because we're going on.
Shel
We could keep going.
Chevet Yah. It's all about the Shel Chevet Yah, I think.
Heaven.
What?
Yeah.
Shel Chevet Yah.
The hay.
It is, and
So anyway, we're doing the best that we can. It's a challenge. I feel like it's more of a challenge than with the Psalms project. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. How do you make it more than just a romance novel?
That's why, that's why I like Cole Porter better than the others. And sometimes you get something original about love in these songs. Oh my God, these songs that are banging around your head.
I know, right? Because they took from this. They took from this.
Yeah,
they did. They took from this, but then they put it on AM radio.
It's love language. You know that Brazilian song that's so beautiful? That's why I love that Brazilian song, The Waters of March, because it comes at you one image after another. It's like this, acknowledging that we're in the realm here of images that either can you get lean with them, or can you just really get overwhelmed and throw them at you and let them all and bathe in them. Let them run over you, all of them. Dun, 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 dun. All right, that's enough about that.
Okay, let's offer a Mishabera.
Yeah.
A healing prayer. A healing prayer. A healing prayer. A Mishabera.
So same thing with guitar playing. You got an original thing going. What they call a hook.
Wow.
Refuat nefesh, refuat guf.
Yeah.
All the healing that we invoke with every breath that we take. On my right, the angel Michael. On my left, the angel Gabriel. In front of me, the angel
Uriel. Angels.
behind me, the angel Raphael.
Get in your back, that healing angel.
And above my head, above my head, above my head, above my head.
Shekhinah down. The Shekhinah.
Shekhinah there. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, great healer. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Hope it's a great day, everyone.
Let's see who else is here.
36th day of the
Oh,
counting.
hello, Valerie.
36th day of the counting of the Omer is today. Double high. Hope it's a good day for everyone. And we're getting closer. We're in the 6th week.
Opening
there's
the
only
gates.
7 weeks.
We're moving through the gates of awareness. 49 gates, and then the 50th gate,
Shavuot.
we sit in a posture of receptivity, and we earn our durable wisdom, our book. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thanks for being with us.
Ciao, babies.
Have a great day, and